So I got an email from a friend of mine regarding how to record software updates within Joomla, and I gave her some information within the email, and then I decided it was probably a good idea to write an extension to actually do this, to track changes to your installed extensions. So I created the System Software Log extension plugin. Uh, Upon installation of the system plugin, it will automatically install the Ajax plugin, which you will have to enable in order to view the log within the extension. So let's dive right in. The first thing you're going to see, by default, these are both disabled, is that you have additional storage options. In addition to storing your your software changes to the database, you can also have it dump these changes to the server error log. This would be your Apache error log or your Nginx error log or your whatever server software you're running. It'll dump it to whatever the PHP error log function dumps it to. And then you have the option of dumping it to a file. And what it does for both of these events is it takes the data that would normally be written to the database, it JSON encodes it, and it dumps it to wherever you tell it to do. And it can be either or both. You can dump it to both places. If you choose file, then you get to choose a file name. So there's that. Log viewer, though, this is where it really shines, because this plugin has a built-in display method for you, and it by default shows in reverse chronological order from newest to oldest all of the software changes that have occurred within your Joomla installation, and that includes installs, updates, uninstalls, and setting changes. So if you go into a component and you edit its options, its component options, and you hit save, those are stored here. Plugin options, module options, template options even are stored here. So I guess I just start going down the list here. So the display itself relies on the Ajax plugin to retrieve its data. And the reason for that is because after your site's been running for a period of time, this list is going to get long. I mean, as you're running extension updates and as you're installing new software or uninstalling old software that you're changing out for something else, whatever you are doing, the system is going to continually record these events. It's not designed to delete anything. This is a running log. It shouldn't get too abnormally huge. So anyway, the reason that I did the Ajax plugin, I didn't just retrieve the data and display it, is because it could potentially end up having thousands of rows. I mean, that's really not out of the realm of possibility. Just in my playing with it, I've got 120 rows ish, somewhere around there. 111 rows, yeah. So the pagination on this is tied to that Ajax plugin. It actually does the Ajax request to get the next 10, the next 10, the next 10, or the next 25 or 50 or 100, whatever you set your pagination values at. We're going to go back to 10 here. It's easier to look at. So each time you do an install, we're going to refresh this. Note the date here, 1640.06. 1659.06. So the 40.06 was down here and 59.06 was here. Now the plugin detects the extension ID to determine, like, if you're downloading an extension that you already have installed and you're reinstalling it, or you're installing a new version of it, this considers that to be an update, because the extension, here we go, 1071, pardon me, 10171. Here, 10171 already existed, so it considers that to be an update. So it's going to show you your version from and your version to. If you are editing an extension, go to plugins, click this one. I'm just going to hit save. We're not actually changing anything, but if I refresh this list, Ajax Softlog has received a save setting operation by superadmin on this date, type plugin, extension ID, all this stuff. So um, it it stores your who, what, when, and version information isn't important during a setting save, but there is other information that is stored within the database that's not readily available from the interface here, because it would be far too much data to try to show here in some cases. I'm going to jump over into the database here and show you what that is. Here's the actual table we're looking at here. Each time you save an extension settings or you run an update or whatever, the system stores the database, the new params for that item. So this particular, actually, you know what, I'm going to refresh here because we've got new stuff. Yeah. So anytime you save a plugin, its new value is stored within the database. So you could go back here and search for a specific extension, so softlog, and find out what all the setting change dates were, and go back into the database and find those original param values. So maybe you went into an extension and you changed the setting and it messed everything up and you don't remember what the previous setting was. Well, the softlog will have a copy of those params from the previous save event. So, I mean, I originally considered putting a button in to allow you to re-import old settings, but then I thought that is a can of worms right there. That could cause some serious problems. I'd much rather just store that data and allow you access to it, because you currently don't have access to that without a plugin like this. So just know that if you do end up in one of those situations where you've lost a configuration value that you just don't know anymore, it's going to be in the logs. This extension is going to be available on Richie Web. It'll be up in the JED under System, Software Log.